All right, so the NFL draft is over. It's been over for a couple days now. At this point, we're kind of getting an idea of what the 2020 Detroit Lions roster is going to look like. And I think it's looking better than last year. I think our defense is looking much better. I think our pass rush is going to be better than last year. But with that said, I still think there are a couple players that we could bring in that could help our pass rush that much more and kind of take us to that next level to be a playoff contender next season. So today I'm going to be talking about two edge rushers that I think the Lions could possibly bring in to help bolster our defensive line a little bit. So the first player I'm going to be talking about is Everson Griffin. Last year, Everson Griffin was a edge rusher for the Minnesota Vikings, a division rival. Last year with the Vikings, Everson had 41 tackles for 8 sacks and 1 interception. He is 32 years old, but he hasn't really slowed down with age. Every year he's consistent. He gets you that 8 to 10 sacks. He's very productive every season. And I mean, 8 sacks would have led the Lions last season. Our leading player in sacks last year was Devon Kennard, who the Lions let go, and Trey Flowers. They both had 7 sacks, so Everson Griffin would have beat both of them out, and led the Lions in sacks last year, even if he only gets 8. So I think that can be, a real help for the Lions. I think they need that constant production. I think that he can help Trey Flowers out immediately. He can kind of help mentor some of the younger guys, some Julian Okwara, Deshaun Hand, Danny Shelton. And I think that he can mentor some of the younger guys. Danny Shelton's not really a younger guy, but I think he can help mentor some of those younger pass rushers that the Lions have pulled in recently, and really help them develop a little bit better and, help out Trey Flowers immediately. Everson is a 6'3", 237-pound defensive end. He's a very big guy. He gets deflections at the line. He's very good at putting his hands up and getting deflections if he can't get there. So that's something that he does very well. He is 32 years old, so kind of an older guy, as I said earlier. But at the same time, we only need him for a couple of years. We have, we don't really have the pass rush that we need, and I think that he can help us. He can come in and get those sacks. He is asking for $8 to $10 million a year. So that's a little expensive. I don't know if the Lions are going to want to pay that. But according to sources, we do still have about $28 million left. We're one of the top teams when it comes to salary cap still. So I think we have the money to pay that if we're willing to. I don't know how much they want to save, but I would assume that it wouldn't be, I would assume we still have some money to spend. In free agency, I think Bob Quinn is smart enough to save some just in case he couldn't get who he wanted in the draft, so he could go out and sign a veteran to help. So I think we could pay that if we wanted to, but I don't know if we would want to get Everson Griffin. There are talks about maybe him going back to Minnesota, but I think if we can get him here, he'll be an instant impact. Moving on to our second candidate, is Marcus Golden. He's a defensive lineman, edge rusher. He played for the New York Giants last year, and he had a very, very good season last year. Last season, he had 72 tackles, 10 sacks, and a fumble recovery. He's a little bit younger than Everson Griffin. He's 29 years old. He has those years where he has 12 and a half sacks. He has those years with 10 and a half sacks. But unfortunately, he is inconsistent from a year-to-year basis. He's, like, as I said just a minute ago, he's had those 12 and a half sack seasons. He's had those 10 sack seasons. But he's also had seasons where he's had 0 sacks. He's had seasons with 2 sacks and 4 sacks. I mean, it's very inconsistent on which Marcus Golden you're getting, whether it's the elite pass rusher or the pass rusher that gets you a couple sacks a season and it wouldn't be worth what he's asking for this season. Marcus Golden is also 6'3". He weighs 259 pounds. But again, I think the Lions could very well get him. There are talks that the Lions have been in talks with Marcus Golden. There's an article that states that Marcus Golden is deciding between 2 teams, and that's whether he wants to come to Detroit and play for the Lions or whether he wants to go back to New York and play for the Giants. I know which one I would play for. But if he decides to go back to New York, that's unfortunate. I think the Lions would be okay, without a veteran pass rusher, but I think that a veteran pass rusher would help that much more for the Lions next season. He's also asking for $8 to $10 million a year, which is a lot for an inconsistent pass rusher. But if you're getting the pass rusher that's going to get you 12.5 sacks a season, I think it's very much worth it. So I think that he can come in and, you know, do the same thing as Everson Griffin. I think he can come in and help Trey Flowers immediately. I also think that he can mentor some of the younger guys a little bit, and help with the pass rush right away. So I don't know, how the Lions are gonna feel about this, but I personally think we still need another pass rusher. I think Julian Okwara is gonna help, but I don't think that he's gonna be an elite pass rusher year one. I think that he's gonna get a couple sacks, probably a few pressures, maybe a forced fumble or two. But I still think the Lions need that elite pass rusher that can come in day one, and you know that he's gonna get you 8 sacks. You know that he's gonna, get some takeaways for you. He's gonna take some pressure off Trey Flowers and Deshaun Hand and Danny Shelton. So that's my opinion. I think we have a better chance of bringing in Marcus Golden, but if I had a choice, I would rather bring in Everson Griffin. So yeah, those are the two pass rushers that I was looking at that I think that the Lions could bring in and potentially might bring in. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you do enjoy my content, consider liking the video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. I'm very appreciative to everybody that does so. And I'll see you guys next time that there's Lions news. Thanks, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.